In our headlines tonight, Project Monitoring Committee to address the challenges of access roads in agrarian communities inaugurated. Pregnant mothers urged to desist from acts that endanger lives of their unborn babies. Federal government to invest $6.7 billion in reconstructing northeastern region. On the foreign scene, German government says she will increase her funding that supports Palestinian refugees. To you, glad to have you join us in the news tonight. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. The State's Project Monitoring Committee for the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, RAMP, has been inaugurated. The Commissioner for Road Construction, Furniture and Maintenance, Engineer Marcel Ifejofo, inaugurated the committee at the conference room in the Ministry. Oka Works correspondent Ngozo Bileri covered the event and now reports.
The Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, RAMP 3, is a federal government initiative aimed at creating access in the rural state roads, especially agrarian communities. The program was established in September 2016 and became operational in October 2017 in the state, with financial support from World Bank, French Development Bank, and African Development Bank. RAMP 3 is a successor to the second Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project, which also succeeded RAMP 1 and has the Federal Ministry of Agriculture as the lead agency. Inaugurating the committee, Engineer Ifejofo expressed happiness that such project is being actualized during his time, as he said that the program will reduce the stress farmers go through to evacuate their farm produce, saying that the move is in no small measure a boost to agriculture as desired by Governor Willie Obiano. Engineer Ifejofo urged project coordinators to provide job prescription for the project monitors so that there will be no conflict of interest, charging the committee to live up to expectation.
I want to encourage you, as a ministry under which you are operating, we are going to give you all the support you need. The job will be easier because you are helping us, we are working together. We have experienced engineers to help where necessary.
Speaking earlier, the state project coordinator, Engineer Joseph Onyejekwe, announced that Governor Obiano has paid 100 million naira as the first tranche of the counterpart funds, which is 8% of the fund, while the African Development Bank will complete the 92% of the fund. Engineer Onyejekwe explained that not all the local government areas will benefit from the project because it is meant for pure agrarian areas like Anambra East, Oka North and South, Orumba North and South, Ayamelum, Idemili North and South, Ihiala, Agwata, Anocha, Oyi and Dunukofe council areas.
Ensure that the expenditures are within the applicable plan by the RAMP efforts. Can you know that the SPMC will not be involved in day-to-day management of the project, but will provide strategic and policy guidance to the state project?
Responding on behalf of other members of the committee, the chairman of the committee and the permanent secretary, Minister of Road Construction, Furniture and Maintenance, Mr. Emeka Ohuoha, pledged to do the work with diligence, saying that they cannot afford to disappoint government and Anambra.
On behalf of my members, pledge that we will do our jobs with diligence, commitment, and with all respect.
The 13 members of the committee were selected from various ministries and departments. In Oka, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS News.
The 2018 Nigerian Demographic and Health Survey, NDHS, has commenced in Anambra State. The 4-month exercise, which took off on the 26th of August across the 36 states of the Federation and its Federal Capital Territory, will end on the 15th of December. Monica Kechuku filed the report taken from our studios.
In a press briefing at the state headquarters of the National Population Commission, Oka, the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewole, said the Nigerian Demographic and Health Survey, which is the sixth in the series of DHS conducted in Nigeria, is a 5-year periodic worldwide survey program designed by USAID with support from other international donor organizations to assist countries in conducting household sample surveys to monitor changes in population, health, and nutrition. Professor Adewole, whose paper was presented by Anambra State Director, National Population Commission, TPL, Joaquin Olase, on behalf of the Federal Commissioner, Anambra State, Professor Chika Moore, pointed out that the survey is currently being carried out in several countries in Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean, as well as Asia, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East. He explained that the data from these surveys will be used to better understand the population, health, and nutrition situation in these countries. The health minister further hinted that the Nigerian DHS is being conducted by the National Population Commission, NPC, the agency's statutory mandate to generate demographic data for national planning in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health.
For this exercise, adequate logistic arrangement for effective development of personnel and material in the selected local government areas have been put in place. The support and assistance of the various state governments, local government cities for the provision of accommodation for field staff. The security agencies have been put into notice in the areas where the exercise is scheduled to take place.
Expatiating further on the exercise, the State MPC Director, TPL Olase, hinted that the survey seeks to collect high-quality data on fertility levels, investigate factors that impact on maternal and neonatal morbidity and mortality, provide information to address evaluation needs, as well as assess prevalence of malaria and genotype tests for sickle cell disease, among others. He revealed that the survey, which will be carried out in 18 out of 21 local governments of Anambra State, beginning with Ihiala Council area, the State MPC Director appealed to all stakeholders, including governments at all levels, traditional rulers, presidents general, the affected communities, as well as the media, to assist in ensuring successful 2018 Nigerian Demographic and Health Survey. Others who spoke on the occasion were the Supervisor, NDHS, Anambra State, Dr. Ejike Daniel, the Controller, Ayamelum Council area of MPC, Mr. Oliver Mezwe, and Head of Technical Department, Mrs. Chinyere Maduago.
So by the time we get to such difficult areas, there are promises that they will come to our aid and they make it easy for us to get across the whole one interview.
My colleagues here, thank you for coming. The controllers from different local governments. You still have your work to do. Until we get this data for Nigeria, we'll continue to fight.
The event attracted MPC officers and stakeholders from both state and local government areas of Anambra State.
A medical expert, Dr. Philip Olabisi, says pregnant mothers must take folic acid at least 1 month before delivery to lower the risk of brain and spinal cord transformations. Dr. Olabisi made this known during the first maternal skill conference organized by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Health in partnership with the Diligent Care for Creative Intelligence Development held at the Jerome Udoji Secretariat, Oka. Health correspondent Chibuzo Okoye has the reports.
Delivering a lecture on smart maternal keys closing the gap, Dr. Olabisi, who gave explicit and comprehensive analysis of the development of children from conception to delivery stage, noted that proper intake of balanced diet, less stress, as well as treatment of all diseases before delivery are strategic to giving birth to a strong and smart children. Dr. Olabisi further revealed that intelligence of children emerges from not only the interaction of genetic makeup, but also the environment they develop right from onset of fertilization, calling on mothers and potential mothers to avoid acts that can deform their unborn babies in the womb.
Learn to follow your vision and refuse to follow your feelings. If you are the type that always follow your feelings, especially when in pregnancy, it will be very difficult to have a visionary child, to have a baby that is full of IQ.
The Commissioner for Social Welfare, Women and Children Affairs, Lady Ndidi Mezue, represented by the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on the Ministry, Mr. Ernest Ebenebe, described the conference as worthwhile and encouraged mothers to take the conference seriously for the state to continue to have smart children that will sustain the shining lights of the state in the future. In a welcome address, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Health, Honorable Kate Edozie, said that the event was aimed at educating mothers on the skills and abilities required to achieve optimal health and well-being of mother and child, and commended Governor Willie Obiano for his strides in the health sector.
The foundation of a child's future is consciously or unconsciously laid in the mother's womb. You are here to learn the skills and abilities that are required for prospective mothers to achieve optimal health and well-being of both mother and child.
The Executive Secretary, Anambra State Health Insurance Scheme, Dr. Simeon Onyamechi, equally talked about the importance of health insurance at the conference. The theme of the conference was Smart Newborn Strategies, a fast track to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 1, 3, 4, and 8. Participants at the event were drawn from various parts of the state. In Oka, it's been Chibuzo Okoye for ABS News.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, Nze Uchenwora, has emphasized the need for youths to be equipped with skills that would make them self-reliant. Nzenwora laid the emphasis when students from the Department of Adult and Non-Formal Education, Federal College of Education Technical Umunze, paid him a courtesy visit in his office in Oka. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo completes the report.
The ABS boss, who made it clear that days are gone when people depend only on white-collar jobs for livelihood, said it is high time the youths embraced skills that would help them survive the present unemployment situation in the country. Nzenwora also emphasized the need for the students to be serious with their course of study, which he described as one of the courses that would positively transform the country, and charged them to always use the knowledge to reshape people's perception about education. By stating the commitment of the station to creating a better society, Nzenwora enlightened the students on the efforts the organization is making towards engaging the youths meaningfully, which one of them is the founding of the ABS Film Academy.
I want to encourage you, madam, you're doing a good job with them, and there's hope. There's hope. So don't think that you're disadvantaged, you're not. Okay? So you guys are actually helping to, recreate the way we think about the education in Nigeria. I mean, ours, we've shown how we are practicalizing it, that things should be different. I'm not saying that people should not go to university. If you want to go to university, that's fine, but there's also other pathways that somebody can do things.
Speaking earlier, the head of Department, Adult and Non-Formal Education, Federal College of Education Technical Umunze, Dr. Mrs. Victoria Ifanacho, who commended the ABS on its expertise in information dissemination, said the visit to the station was to help the students understand the practical aspect of the course, as mass media is one of their major courses.
Just want to bring the students nearer to what they have been learning in the classroom, for them to experience, have understand information about what we tell them in the class. You have activities, you know that you are a mass media, and your service is very important in mass education, literacy and awareness.
Some of the students, including Ms. Blessing Mweke, Mr. Uchenna Nefuna, and Azomto Okoye, expressed happiness on the visit and explained that it has widened their scope of knowledge on broadcasting as well as information management.
I learned a lot, especially in the news place. They taught us everything there, pertaining how to cast news, how you can edit everything, make sure that you give out the necessary thing, not be putting your own opinion.
Our visit is so clear. We are very happy to see a lot of things. We went to a lot of departments. but the one that is so much interested is in the news department.
The students were later conducted around the station to familiarize with some equipments and departments in the broadcasting station. In Awka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The chairman of the Anambra State Vigilante Supervisory Committee and the senior special assistant to the governor on vigilante matters, Chief Ikechukwu Aduba, has thrown his weight behind the agitation for state police in the country. Chief Aduba made this assertion in an ABS News and Current Affairs program, Face to Press. He explained that the state police, headed and controlled mainly by indigenes who are versed in the language and culture of the communities, are likely to be more efficient and effective on security matters of such states. The Anambra State Vigilante boss maintained that the present arrangement in the country, whereby police commissioners are more loyal to the Inspector General of Police in Abuja than state governors, is not the best for the protection of lives and property of the citizenry. Chief Aduba, who is a retired commissioner of police, also said that the grassroots security initiative of the present administration in Anambra State is efficacious and advised other state governments in the country to adopt what he called the Willie Obiano formula in order to nip many criminal activities in Nigeria in the bud. And you're still watching ABS Television News, Channel 24 Oka. Our commercial break beckons to stay with us.
Anambra, ekene munu.
Hi people, this is your favorite Igbolicious babe, Rachel Okonkwo, aka Nkoli Wansuga.
My name's John Ikechukwu.
I am Honorable Dr. P.T. Bida, member representing Njikoka 2 in Anambra State House of Assembly.
Afambu Nze Uche Nwora, Managing Director, CEO, Anambra Broadcasting Service.
My name is Colette Madike, beauty queen, filmmaker, and you're watching.
You are watching
Inekili
ABS TV.
Never you ever touch that dial.
Keep watching ABS. Alabama, yeah, like that.
It is ABS TV. All the time. ABS.
Glad to know you're still watching. The federal government says it has developed a $6.7 billion robust plan of action for the reconstruction, rehabilitation, and resettlement of Northeast devastated by Boko Haram activities. Nigeria's ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations, Professor Tijani Bande, said these are the side events tagged strengthening the humanitarian and development partnership in the Lake Chad region. The Nigerian envoy said that the comprehensive socio-economic plan known as Buhari Plan is meant to advance development in the country. Bande said Nigeria was spearheading the event based on the need to promote across-border collaboration and cooperation among countries of the Lake Chad region, the donors, and a whole range of humanitarian and development partners. He said the $6.7 billion Buhari Plan of Action for the comprehensive reconstruction, rehabilitation, and resettlement of the northeastern region and the Lake Chad represents an ambitious humanitarian development initiative on the part of national government. The event, sponsored by Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger, Chad, UN Development Program, and UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, also featured presentation by UN humanitarian coordinators for the 4 countries. And up next is business news. Governor Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has assured bank customers who were victims of the Savannah Bank crisis that it would ensure that they get their hanging funds. David Okpokosili is standing by for business news.
Speaking at the summit, the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, who was represented by Acting Director, Consumer Protection Department, Mr. T.Y. Ahmed, gave the assurance at the 3rd Biennial Bank Customers Summit organized by Bank Customers Association of Nigeria, BCAN in Lagos. President of BCN, Dr. Uju Obubunka, had earlier in his welcome address raised the issue of the hanging funds of customers of the defunct Savannah Bank and stated that last 2 years the issue about Savannah Bank was raised and that it's still hanging in the balance. He stated that the bank is hosting large deposits of members for the past 17 years or more. Meanwhile, the Naira depreciated marginally against the US dollar at the investors' window, exchanging at 362 Naira 64 kobo compared to 362 Naira 32 kobo. The Nigerian currency, however, remains stable at the parallel market in Lagos, closing at 360 Naira to $1 US. It also closed at 469 Naira and 418 Naira to £1 British pound sterling and the euro respectively at the parallel market. At the Bureau de Change, the Naira traded at 360 Naira to $1 US, while the pound sterling and the euro closed at 469 Naira and 418 Naira respectively. And that is business news. I am David Opokwasele.
The German government is pledged to significantly increase its funding for the UN agency that supports Palestinian refugees after the United States cuts its aid. German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said the funding crisis for the United Nations Relief and Works Agency was fueling uncertainty. Germany had already provided 81 million euros in aid for UNWRA this year, he said, and was preparing to increase its contribution. He gave no figure. Maas said it was clear that the added German funds would not cover a $217 million deficit left by the U.S. withdrawal and urged the European Union and other states to work towards a sustainable finance basis for the organization. It is part of a broader push by Maas to take a more assertive stance in disagreements with the United States on a range of issues, including trade, military spending, and climate change. Jordan said on Thursday it would lead a campaign to raise funds to help the UN agency survive, including an appeal to the Arab League. UNRWA has faced a cash crisis since the United States launched its biggest donor earlier this year slashed fundings, saying the agency needed to make unspecified reforms and callings on the Palestinians to renew peace talks with Israel. And now sports news. Lobby Stars of Makurdi have been named the winners of the uncompleted season of the Nigerian Professional Football League after the league organizers, the league management company, met with the Association of the league's club owners. In a statement on Friday, the LMSC said it was agreed to bring the league season to an end after 24 matches due to the adverse circumstances in the administration of football in the country, which resulted in the postponement of the resumption of the NPFL and resulting in huge fixture congestion for both league and cup competitions. The LMSC said with the October 15 deadline for the submissions of representatives for the 2019 CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup looming large, the body resolved with the club owners to crown Lobby, who have 43 points, as champions of the league and the country's representatives in the 2019 Champions League. The body said none of the teams would be relegated, adding that the 2019 NPFL season will start in November with 4 more teams from the Nigerian National League. It said the league would be played in an abridged format with 12 clubs each in 2 groups. At the end of the abridged season in May 2019, 6 clubs would be relegated to the NNL, while 2 would be promoted to the NPFL. And do please remember that you can listen to news and programs on ABS 88.5 FM from any part of the world by logging on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. And like I said, www.facebook.com/absradiotelevision. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And just before we go, a recap of the main points. A project monitoring committee that will help to address the challenges of access roads in agrarian communities has been inaugurated. Commissioner for Road Construction, Furniture and Maintenance, Engineer Ifejofor, performed the ceremony in Oka. Pregnant mothers have been urged to desist from acts that endanger lives of their unborn babies. Federal government set to invest $6.7 billion in reconstructing the northeastern region of the country. And on the foreign scene, German government has said she will increase her fundings that supports Palestinian refugees. And that does it on the news tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Maureen Stone in Ujoke. Good night.